May 29th, 1998, 3:17 p.m., Rob's Car Wash, Compton, California. Orlando Anderson pulls into the lot behind the wheel of a borrowed Chevy Blazer. He's 23 years old. His great-grandmother died in a hospital room just hours earlier. He came here for a burger, nothing more. But in Compton, nothing is ever that simple. Two men wait by the car wash, corner pocket Crips, a drug debt, words exchanged, then gunfire. When the shots stop echoing, 3 bodies lie on the pavement. Orlando Baby Lane Anderson dies from his injuries. He never makes it past the emergency room doors. For most people, that would be the end of the story. A gang member killed in a gang dispute. Another statistic in a city drowning in violence. But Orlando Anderson's story doesn't end at that car wash. It begins there. Because 2 years earlier, on September 7th, 1996, in a Las Vegas hotel lobby, Orlando threw a punch that would change hip-hop history forever. That punch led to a beating. That beating led to revenge. And that revenge led to the death of Tupac Shakur. This is the story of the man they called Baby Lane, the kid from South Burris Road who dreamed of making it in the music business, the prime suspect in the most famous unsolved murder in rap history, the ghost that hip-hop can't forget. 27 years later, his uncle sits in a Las Vegas jail cell, charged with orchestrating it all. This is his story. August 13, 1974, Compton, California. Orlando Tyve Anderson enters the world in a city most Americans only know from headlines. His parents, Harvey Lee Anderson and Charlotte Davis, split when he's young. His mother takes him to South Burris Road to his great-grandmother's house, a woman named Utah. Charlotte works 12-hour shifts as a bookkeeper, double shifts to keep food on the table. She leaves before sunrise, comes home after dark, but Orlando never goes without. Utah makes sure that South Burris Road, every lamppost spray painted with 2 letters, SS South Side. You don't need a map to know where you are. The graffiti tells you everything. This is South Side Crip territory. Has been for years, will be for years to come. But inside Utah's house, there's something different. Weekends mean family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, packed around a table. Laughter, home-cooked meals, a grandmother who demands respect and gives love in equal measure. At 11 years old, Orlando meets a kid named Arlandis Hinton. Everyone calls him BG. They become inseparable. BG will later rename himself BG Knock Out, sign with Eazy-E, make it out through music. But right now, they're just 2 kids from Compton dreaming about something bigger. Orlando goes to Taft High School, same school Ice Cube graduated from. He's a good student, conscientious, his teachers say, passes his exams, does his homework. For his senior year, he transfers to Dominguez High, graduates in 1992. Here's what matters. Orlando Anderson doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs. In a neighborhood where that's the exception, not the rule. But Compton doesn't care about exceptions. The streets have their own gravity, their own rules, and those spray-painted lampposts, they're not just graffiti, they're a claim, a warning, a promise. South Side Crips. By the time Orlando turns 18, he's already wearing the wrong color in the wrong neighborhood, already carrying a nickname that will outlive him, Baby Lane. He doesn't know it yet, but that name will echo through hip-hop history, will be whispered in Vegas hotel rooms and shouted in courtrooms, will become synonymous with the most famous murder in rap. But in 1992, he's just a kid with a diploma trying to figure out what comes next. Compton Community College. Orlando enrolls after high school, sits in classrooms, takes notes, tries the traditional route, but college costs money, time, and the streets are calling. He drops out. In his early teens, the inevitable happens. Orlando becomes affiliated with the South Side Compton Crips, the same set that claimed his block, the same colors painted on every lamppost he grew up seeing. He earns his nickname, Baby Lane. He does time in juvenile detention. His friend BG is there too. Two kids from the same neighborhood, locked up in the same cage, wondering if this is all life has to offer. When Orlando gets out, he needs work, finds it at a hydraulic shop. Honest work, minimum wage. He shows up on time, does what he's told, collects his paycheck every Friday. 1993, Orlando makes a cameo in a music video, Blaze It Up, by a Compton rapper named Mello. His uncle Keefy D is in it too, showing off his lowrider Impala. It's nothing major, just background, but Orlando watches how it all works. The cameras, the money, the possibility, music, that's the way out. 1994, his girlfriend Rashina Smith gives birth to their daughter, Crystal. Rashina's a student nurse, studying, working, building something legitimate. A year later, another daughter, Courtney. Orlando's trying to be a father, trying to balance the street life with something real. But there's another woman, Thais Lanier. In 1996, she gives birth to his third daughter, Ariel. 3 daughters, 2 mothers, 1 hydraulic shop paycheck. It's not enough. By 1996, Orlando and Rashina moved to Lakewood with their 2 girls. A small apartment. Rashina works her nursing shifts. Orlando works the shop until August, then quits. He's got a different plan now. His half-brother Pooh shares the vision. They're going to start a record label, Success Records. They're going to sign local talent, build a studio, make something real out of Compton's endless supply of raw talent. It's the same dream Eazy-E had, the same dream Suge Knight turned into Death Row Records, the same dream every kid from South Central carries like a lottery ticket. Orlando Anderson is 21 years old, 3 daughters, no high school friend BG making songs with Eazy-E, Success Records existing only on paper, and a street reputation that's growing in ways he can't control. South Side Crips don't just disappear because you have a dream. See, while Orlando's sketching out business plans for Success Records, 90 miles north in Los Angeles, another label is dominating the rap game. Death Row Records, Suge Knight, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and their newest signing, Tupac Shakur, Death Row affiliates with the mob Piru Bloods, rivals to Orlando's Crips. And in the summer of 1996, that rivalry is about to explode in a way nobody can predict. July 1996, Lakewood Mall, Orlando Anderson walks into a Foot Locker. So does a Death Row affiliate named Trevon Lane. Lane's wearing something special around his neck, a gold Death Row medallion, a gift from Suge Knight himself. What happens next will set 2 paths on a collision course toward Las Vegas. Lakewood Mall, July 1996. Inside the Foot Locker, Trevon Trey Lane is shopping with 2 other mob Piru Bloods. Lane works for Death Row Records, close to Suge Knight, close enough that Suge gave him something special, a custom Death Row medallion, heavy gold, diamond cut, the label's logo gleaming from his chest. In Compton, jewelry like that isn't just fashion, it's a statement, a declaration of allegiance, a target. Orlando Anderson walks in with his crew, South Side Crips. They clock the medallion immediately. Later, investigators will hear rumors, whispers about a bounty, $10,000 for anyone who could bring Puff Daddy a Death Row medallion, East Coast versus West Coast, Bad Boy versus Death Row, a war being fought in record sales and on street corners. Whether the bounty is real or not doesn't matter. What matters is what happens next. Orlando and his crew jump Lane. It's quick, brutal. They snatch the medallion right off his neck and disappear into the parking lot. In gang culture, this isn't just robbery. This is taking a war trophy. This is disrespect at the highest level. Suge Knight hears about it within hours. His boy Trey got violated, got his chain taken by some Crips from Compton. The chain Suge personally gave him. That's not just about jewelry anymore. That's personal. Tupac hears about it too. Tupac, who's been signed to death row for less than a year, but already feels like family. Tupac, who grew up around gang members, who reps blood culture in his music, who's all in with Suge's world. The word goes out, if you see the Crip who took Trey's chain, handle it. 2 months pass. Orlando keeps the medallion. Maybe wears it, maybe sells it, maybe just keeps it as proof. Evidence of a victory in a war that never ends. August turns to September. Life goes on. Orlando's working on Success Records. Rasheena's working her nursing shifts. Their daughters are growing. The Lakewood Mall incident becomes just another story in a city full of them. Then comes September 6th, 1996. Mike Tyson versus Bruce Seldon. WBA Heavyweight Championship. MGM Grand, Las Vegas, Nevada. Suge Knight has tickets. Front row. He's bringing his whole crew. Death row artists, bodyguards, affiliates. It's a celebration. Tyson's going to demolish Seldon. After the fight, they're all heading to Club 662, Suge's new spot on the Vegas Strip. Tupac Shakur is coming too. Orlando Anderson buys tickets, books a room at the Excalibur Hotel with Rasheena. He's in Vegas for the same reason everyone else is, to see Tyson knock someone out. Two groups, same city, same arena, both connected to the biggest rivalry in hip-hop history. Trevon Lane is coming to Vegas too, and he hasn't forgotten about his medallion. September 7th, 1996, 8:53 p.m. The fight lasts 1 minute and 49 seconds. Tyson wins by TKO. The crowd erupts. Thousands of people flood toward the exits. In the chaos of the MGM Grand lobby, two worlds are about to collide. September 7th, 1996, 8:53 p.m. MGM Grand Hotel lobby. The Tyson fight just ended. Thousands of people moving through the casino. Slot machines ringing. Chaos, energy, money. Tupac Shakur walks through the crowd with Suge Knight and the death row entourage. They're heading back to get change before the party at Club 662. Tupac's wearing a black vest, baggy jeans, his signature bandana. He's 25 years old, on top of the world. His album, All Eyes on Me, went 5 times platinum. He just signed a 3-album deal with Death Row worth millions. Then Trevon Lane sees him. Across the lobby, standing alone near the elevators, is Orlando Anderson, Baby Lane, the Crip who took his medallion 2 months ago in Lakewood. Lane grabs Tupac, points. That's the dude. Tupac doesn't hesitate. He walks straight across the casino floor. Security cameras capture everything. Tupac approaches Orlando Anderson. 4 words. You from the South? Then he swings. The punch connects. Anderson goes down. Then it's not just Tupac anymore. It's 5 men. Kicking, stomping. Suge Knight's in there. Death row security. Anderson tries to cover his face, protect his head. BG Knockout will later say that's what saved him from the worst of it. 109 seconds. That's how long the beating lasts before MGM security breaks it up. Anderson's left on the floor with a dislocated shoulder. Tupac and his crew disappear into the casino crowd. Security asks Anderson if he wants to press charges. He says no, this isn't something you handle with police reports. This is handled in the streets. 11:15 p.m., 3 hours later, Tupac and Suge are in Suge's black BMW, 750 sedan, custom rims, leading a convoy of cars toward Club 662. Tupac's in the passenger seat, no seatbelt, window down. He's talking to girls in a green Sebring convertible at a red light, Flamingo Road and Koval Lane, laughing, music playing, Vegas lights everywhere. Then a white Cadillac pulls up on the passenger side. Tupac doesn't notice it, neither does Suge. They're too busy talking to the girls in the Sebring. In the Cadillac's back seat, sits Orlando Anderson. His uncle Keefe D is in the front passenger seat. According to Keefe's later confession, he tries to pass a Glock 40 to the back seat. DeAndre Smith, sitting behind the driver, refuses to take it, so Orlando takes it. 13 shots fired. 4 hit Tupac. He's critically wounded. Shug gets grazed in the head. The Cadillac speeds off into the Vegas night. Shug makes a U-turn, drives toward the hospital. Tupac's critically injured in the passenger seat. They make it to University Medical Center. Surgeons perform emergency surgery. Critical condition. He fights for 6 days. September 13th, 1996, 4:03 a.m., Tupac Amaru Shakur dies from respiratory failure and cardiopulmonary arrest. 25 years old. The world stops. September 8th, 1996, the day after. Orlando Anderson drives back to Compton, straight to BG Knockout's house, his childhood friend, the only person he trusts completely. What they talk about, BG will never say. But years later, in interviews, BG mentions that Orlando came by, that they spoke. That's all he'll give. Back in Vegas, Tupac's fighting for his life in intensive care. The news spreads like wildfire. CNN, MTV, every radio station. The biggest rapper in the world gunned down on the Las Vegas Strip. And in Compton, the streets ignite. Bloods versus Crips. A gang war that's been simmering for decades suddenly boils over. Drive-bys, retaliation, counter-retaliation. Within days, 12 people are shot, 3 dead. The violence spreads through South Central like a virus. Orlando Anderson becomes a target. Someone fires an AK-47 at him. He was shot in the legs. According to BG Knockout, Orlando ends up in a wheelchair for months. Can't walk, can't run, sitting in his apartment in Lakewood, waiting to heal, knowing his name is on every Blood's hit list. September 13th, Tupac dies. The world mourns, vigils, tributes. His music plays from every car radio in America, but in Compton, it's not mourning, it's rage. Compton gang investigator Bobby Ladd watches the MGM security footage. Frame by frame, he sees Orlando Anderson's face, sees the beating, does the math. 3 hours between that beating and the shooting. Enough time to get a gun, get a car, get revenge. Ladd calls Las Vegas Metro. I know who killed Tupac, he says. His name is Orlando Anderson. But Las Vegas police aren't convinced. 3 hours? That's not enough time to plan a hit. Plus, they don't have witnesses, don't have the gun, don't have the white Cadillac. What they have is footage of a fight and a theory. October 2nd, 1996, Compton police raid known gang locations. FBI, Sheriff's Department, Las Vegas detectives. They're looking for guns, drugs, evidence of the gang war tearing the city apart. They arrest Orlando Anderson along with 21 other alleged Crips. Hold him for 2 days. Question him about Tupac, about Vegas, about everything. Orlando says nothing. Lawyers up, denies everything. October 4th, they let him go. No charges. Compton police claim they were investigating local shootings, not Vegas. Las Vegas detectives leave empty-handed, but the damage is done. Orlando's name leaks to the press. Rumors start circulating. He bragged about it, people say, told people he was the shooter. Street gossip becomes newspaper headlines. Vibe magazine wants an interview. Orlando agrees, thinking he can clear his name. He denies everything. I didn't kill Tupac, he tells them. I'm a fan of his music. September 1997, Los Angeles Times interview, same message. I had nothing to do with it. Why would I kill Tupac Shakur? But nobody believes him. In the court of public opinion, Orlando Anderson is guilty. The man who shot Tupac, the Crip who killed the legend. He can't go anywhere without people recognizing him, staring, whispering, some with hate, some with respect, all of it dangerous. Orlando tells his attorney, I don't think I'm going to have a long life. 1997, Orlando Anderson makes a decision. If the criminal courts won't touch this, he'll go civil. He files a lawsuit against Suge Knight, Death Row Records, and Tupac Shakur's estate. The claim: assault and battery, emotional distress, physical injuries from the MGM Grand beating. He's asking for damages, real money for what happened in that casino lobby. 4 days later, Afeni Shakur responds. Tupac's mother files her own lawsuit, wrongful death. She names Orlando Anderson as the man who killed her son. No criminal charges, no trial. But in civil court, the burden of proof is lower. She's coming for him anyway. 2 lawsuits, 2 families, both claiming the other destroyed their lives. The legal battle drags through 1997 into 1998. Depositions, motions, court dates. Meanwhile, Orlando's trying to live, trying to build something legitimate. He's unemployed, but Success Records is real now. He finds a garage in Compton, turns it into a studio with his half-brother Pooh. They start recording local artists. Compton's full of talent, kids with bars and dreams and nothing else. Orlando wants to give them a shot. 1998, Rashina gives birth to their 4th daughter, Sierra, another mouth to feed, another reason to make Success Records actually succeed. The lawsuits move towards settlement. Lawyers negotiate. Numbers get thrown around. According to the Associated Press, both estates agree to terms. Orlando's lawyer claims the deal would net him $78,000. Not life-changing money, but enough. Enough to build the studio, sign some artists, maybe finally leave the streets behind. The settlement is finalized, signatures pending, just a matter of paperwork now. May 29th, 1998, hours before the final documents are signed, Orlando's great-grandmother Utah dies, 85 years old. The woman who raised him, fed him, kept him safe when his mother worked those 12-hour shifts. Orlando's mother stays at the hospital. Orlando leaves. He's hungry, needs to clear his head. Calls his friend Michael Darrow. Let's go get some food. They climb into a borrowed Chevy Blazer, head toward Rob's car wash. It's 3 p.m. The settlement money is hours away from being official. He never makes it back to sign the papers. May 29th, 1998, 3 p.m., Alondra Boulevard and Oleander Avenue. Orlando Anderson pulls the borrowed Chevy Blazer into Rob's car wash. His friend Michael Darrow rides shotgun. They're here for food. Maybe hit up Sig's record store next door. Just trying to get through the day. Utah's gone. The settlement's almost done. Tomorrow, things might finally change. Then Orlando sees them. Michael Stone and Jerry Stone, corner pocket Crips, different set, same city. And there's history here. Word on the street says Orlando owes money, a drug debt, something that should have been handled weeks ago. The Stones see Orlando too. Everyone stops. You can feel it in the air. That moment when everyone knows what's about to happen, but nobody's pulled a gun yet. Words are exchanged. Voices rise. Michael Darrow tries to calm it down, but it's too late. Someone reaches. Someone always reaches. Shots are fired. Jerry Stone falls. Then the Stones return fire. Bullets everywhere. Car windows exploding. People diving for cover. The car wash becomes a war zone. Orlando gets hit. He falls. He drops his gun. Tries to stay on his feet but can't. Michael Darrow grabs Orlando's gun off the ground, fires back, kills Michael Stone. When the shots stop, 3 men are down on the pavement. Orlando Anderson, Jerry Stone, Michael Stone. Ambulances arrive, sirens, police tape, the usual chaos that follows gunfire in Compton. They rush Orlando to Martin Luther King Jr. Community Hospital, the same hospital where he was born 23 years earlier. But there's nothing the doctors can do. His injuries are fatal. Orlando Baby Lane Anderson is pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Jerry Stone dies at the scene. Michael Stone dies en route to the hospital. Michael Darrow is the only survivor. He'll be charged with all 3 homicides, convicted, sentenced to 3 life terms without parole. He's still in prison today. The settlement money, the $78,000 Orlando was hours away from signing for, it dies with him. Success Records closes. The studio in that Compton garage goes silent. The artist Orlando was recording scatter. Find other producers, other dreams. Rashina is left with 4 daughters and no answers. BG Knockout loses his best friend from childhood. Orlando's mother Charlotte loses her son, and Afeni Shakur's wrongful death lawsuit becomes moot. 3 men dead over a drug debt. Another day in Compton. Another statistic. But Orlando Anderson's death doesn't close the case. It opens new questions. Was this really about a drug debt, or was it retaliation for Tupac? Street justice finally catching up? Compton police say it's unrelated, just gang business, nothing to do with Vegas. But in the streets, people whisper different stories. Some say the Bloods finally got their revenge. Some say Orlando knew too much, talked too much, became a liability. The truth dies with him at that car wash. 23 years old, father of 4, alleged killer of Tupac Shakur, gone. (2009), 11 years after Orlando's death. His uncle, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, sits across from LAPD detectives. They're investigating Biggie Smalls' death, but the conversation shifts to Vegas, to Tupac, to that white Cadillac. Keefe D starts talking. He has a proffer agreement, immunity. Anything he says can't be used against him in court, so he tells them everything. The gun, the car, the shooting. He names Orlando Anderson as the trigger man. Then he walks out, free. 2011, former LAPD detective Greg K. Ding publishes a book, Murder Rap. He details Keefe D's confession, claims Sean Diddy Combs put $1 million bounty on Tupac and Suge Knight's heads, East Coast versus West Coast, Bad Boy versus Death Row, and Keefe D took the contract. The story goes public. News outlets pick it up. But there's a problem. Keefe D's protected by that proffer agreement. The confession can't be used against him, so nothing happens. Case stays cold. But Keefe D can't stay quiet. Maybe it's ego. Maybe it's the cancer diagnosis he gets. Maybe he just wants his story told before he dies. 2018, BT documentary. Keefe D goes on camera. I'm the only one alive who can really tell you the story about the Tupac killing, he says. Then he tells it. The Cadillac, the gun, Orlando pulling the trigger. 2019, he publishes his own memoir. Compton Street Legend, co-authored, but his name's on the cover. The back reads, the last living eyewitness to Tupac's murder is telling his story. YouTube interviews follow, podcasts, Vlad TV. He tells the same story over and over, gets paid for it, builds a reputation, becomes a legend in his own mind. Las Vegas Metro Police are watching, listening, building a case without the proffer agreement because Keefe D isn't confessing to cops anymore. He's bragging to the world. September 29, 2023, 27 years after Tupac died, Las Vegas police arrest Dwayne Keefe D. Davis at his home in Henderson, Nevada. The charge, murder with use of a deadly weapon. They don't need his proffer confession anymore. They have his book, his interviews, his own words repeated in public for money without immunity. Chief Deputy DA Mark DiGiacomo lays it out in court. Davis was the on-ground, on-site commander who ordered the death of Tupac Shakur. Keefe D sits in Clark County Detention Center, denied bail, facing life in prison. He's 60 years old. March 2025, ABC News gets an exclusive jailhouse interview. Keefe D's story changes. I'm innocent, he says. I never even read my own book. My co-author made it all up. Nobody buys it. His trial is set for February 2026. The first person ever charged in Tupac Shakur's murder. Not Orlando Anderson, Not the alleged trigger man, but the uncle who planned it, who gave the order, who's been talking about it for 15 years. 2002. Los Angeles Times investigation concluded Orlando Anderson fired the fatal shots. But Orlando never faced a jury, never got his day in court, died at 23 in a car wash shootout, forever labeled as Tupac's killer without ever being convicted. Two young men, both from Compton, both dreaming of making it in music. One became a legend, the other became a ghost story, and the cycle continues